in the low to mid-20s. Not so for Eastern Europe. Cold there, further heavy thundery rain at times as far south as Greece and Turkey.
Call and see who's up out of bed.
The game has taken place. Croke Park was the venue and the day was that of St. Patrick's Feast. So who will feed the scoreboard? The grip now will tell you.
Corofin parish was too small for two senior teams. They weren't getting anywhere. Both teams got together and had a meeting in Corofin, in Rafteries. And the whole thing was discussed. Belclare didn't want to let their name go. Corofin likewise. And Paddy Stevens was the captain of the Corofin team. And he said, I'll make one suggestion. Corofin picked the 15 best they had, and Belclare picked their best 15, and have a match on Easter Sunday, 1925. And I remember that match. Verdon's public house offered a field because they thought there would be a big crowd at it and it would be a great day for the pub. And it was a real tough match. There wasn't an inch given, ever a ball for the whole hour had to be fought for. Towards the end, as it was running into the final whistle, Belclare were leading by a point. And in a do-or-die effort, Corofin, the whole lot went down the field and buried a goal. And when Corofin won by 2 points, it was called, and it's called ever since, Corofin GA Club.
Behind me is the parish of Corofin, population 1,500. The players from Corofin and also from the parish of Belclare are about to make a dream come true. On St. Patrick's Day, the footballers of Corofin GAA Club, a club that can trace its history back to the late 1880s, will be playing in their first All-Ireland club football final. The game's against Erin's Isle, and they'll be playing in Croke Park.
The tightly knit community of Corofin is centred around the castle, the church, Raftery's pub and the all-important GAA pitch. But what really binds them together is the pride of having 9 Gaelic football teams in a club who over the past 73 years have managed to win 66 championships. That's no mean feat.
Did Paddy Stevens have an All-Ireland medal?
He won All-Ireland Club in 1934. 1934. And he tends to show great yarns about the year. He tells one in particular about the year they went to America. They went to America. He used to go to America that time every second year, you know.
Yeah.
And
it was home and away.
Home and away, like, you know. And that time there were no airplanes, it was all boat. And it used to take them 6 weeks to go from here, from Queensland to
Queenstown
to America, you know.
Gaelic Pass.
But this night they were on board, and this hurricane blew in over the Atlantic, you know, and the boat was rocking back and over, and all the boys began to get very sorry for themselves, you know. And the next thing was, would there be a priest round? I wanted to get the confession, you know. And Paddy Stevens, Stafford used to call him. He said, I went searching anywhere, I got a priest, and he was a German, he said. And he didn't know any English, and I didn't know any German. And the declare to God, he said, the best confession ever I made in my life, he said. I made that.
He was free to tell the truth. There was a lean period then, until
1946.
Yeah.
We won the county senior championship again in 1946.
That's right, yeah.
And at in Parkmore. I remember that game. I was only a young lad of 7 years of age. My father brought me in the bar of his bicycle. And Corofin won it. I tell you, what the most thing I remember about it is the fact that a first cousin of my own, Joe Mannion, a clerical student at the time, playing centre field for Corofin, he had a an accidental clash with one of his own teammates. And by 6 o'clock next morning, he was dead.
He was such a powerful man and had such a bounce off the ground. It's when he was coming down that one of his own teammates met him in the stomach and busted his intestine. That happened about 10 minutes before the final whistle.
That's right.
And they were playing Ballinasloe up in Parkmore.
And it threw an awful damper on the celebrations.
It finished the celebration.
Yeah.
That's not only finished the celebration, but it finished the club as well, because, you know, within 12 months, there was only 3 fellas left in the parish of that team.
Terrible tragedy.
I know in my days now, I was playing for Corofin I started in 1957. The game was a very sluggish kind of a game in those days. It was
I
catch
think it
and
had to
kick
be
and
shown
that sort of
because
thing.
the training wasn't put in.
It wasn't, but the people they hadn't the transport in those days to get together either.
They hadn't the pitches for a start off, so they were all fields, you might say, you know, like big heavy level football.
Down in Flatter's Field, at night time they were training. There was no flood lighting or anything. Paddy Stevens went up to the far goal and went behind it and left his motor running in the Husky and shone the lights down. And Morris's went in there at the thing, turned up the thing, and that was the way they trained.
No, just if you want to take a solo, but just hop it over and we'll move out again.
From past to present, this is Corofin GAA Club today. For the last 15 months or so, the players have been training 2 to 3 times a week, come rain, hail or shine. I'm told they even trained at Christmas. But they have their prize now. They're in the final on St. Patrick's Day.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
The game has progressed. It's now a possession game. Like, you know, you get the ball now and you hold possession for as long as you can. Yeah. It's a passing game. You couldn't even call it a handball game now, as much as football, you know. But I think it's a more attractive game now. It's it's better to watch now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They've got guts. They know what they're about. They've worked hard. And they're every right to where they are today. They know what they're about at this stage, and they may only get one chance at it. And when you get one chance, you have to get in there, snap and grab, and that's what we hope to do on Patrick's Day.
The performances that they've put in so far, particularly in the semi-final, you must be very proud of the way they played.
Very proud. They worked really hard. It was what we expected of them. We played to a game plan, and it worked really well.
Now, obviously, Patrick's Day, the speed of the game will probably be a notch higher than it's been at any other time during the season. Are they up for that?
Well, we've got a lot of youth and we've got a bit of experience, and I think that's the way they've trained. I think there will be no problem there. They've worked really hard in the last 6 or 8 weeks coming up, leading into this, and I think that we're there or thereabouts, you know.
We've worked very hard. We set ourselves a target. We haven't obtained that target yet. If we win, we will have. We'll either go to Dublin and come home as winners or losers. There's no middle ground, and that's the beauty of sport. We're 6 years trying to get to this stage, and a lot of the pundits in the county, or, you know, a lot of people would feel that we're a bit young. Some of us, like, I know there's exceptions, but that maybe it's a bit ahead of our time. But we're going to give it a lash. Like, it's no kind of club has ever won it, so it'd be a great honour if myself or Tommy Graney or Ollie Burke, whoever gets to go up the steps, Martin McNamara, it doesn't really matter who gets up there once we win. I'm not saying winning is everything, but and it's not life and death either, you know, as some melodramatics might put it, but we've no business to go up and lose, like, and I know Aaron's I'll feel the same. Ken Spratt is in Dublin now, probably training with he's their captain. One of us is going to be very, very disappointed next Tuesday. We have a job to do, and hopefully we're up to doing it.
Jamesy, God love you. What happened?
Well, I was in the semi-final and I was going up for a ball, and my opponent, just went in under me. Basically fell on my hand and put all my weight on it, and I broke the 3 bones in my hand. First of all, I thought it was only fractured, and I thought there might be a slight chance I get back. But then I was in casualty afterwards, and they told me that it was broken, like, so unfortunately I'm going to miss our arm final as a result. So that was basically it.
Just 1 minute left. That's it, keep on the move.
How much does it mean to these 12, 13, 14-year-olds to have the senior team in the final?
It's a fantastic thing for them, because at this stage the senior players are now their idols. You know, whereas heretofore it would have been players across the channel. Now you can see the young players there. They all have the club jerseys, and they weren't given those jerseys free of charge. They buy those jerseys. It's not that easy to get them, so you have to order them specially, but they all want their jerseys now. So they have great pride in the jersey, they have great pride in their club, and indeed in their parish.
You must feel wonderful looking around. When you come out here in the middle of winter on a Tuesday or Thursday night to have 30, 40, 50 youngsters running around for Corofin, the next generation.
It is indeed. It's a fantastic feeling, great sense of satisfaction in it as well. But it's also very important for me to see the kids learn the skills of the game. It's part of our culture, it's part of our tradition. And I suppose there was a time when we thought that type of culture and tradition was in trouble. But looking at the kids here now, I've no doubt about that the future of our Gaelic games here in this parish, indeed, and this county is very secure at this stage.
Why do you do it?
I enjoy it.
It's the night before the team go to Dublin, so you can just imagine the celebrations that are going on in here.
Well, it was built as the team send-off, but I've just found out that the team are already safely tucked up in bed. But sure, when you go to your first All-Ireland, you don't really need much of an excuse for a celebration, do you? See you in a little while, yeah? There's a wonderful atmosphere, isn't there?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It really is really brilliant.
It's been building all the time. I mean, how long has it been since literally the whistle blew in the semi-final?
I think it took us about a week to actually sink in that we were going to be in the final, and then after that, all hell broke loose. People have been painting their houses, their cars, everything that is yellow and green in the county is up in the poles and the houses and everything in Corofin.
Do you think, realistically, that almost 100% of the people of the parish of Corofin are going to be in Croke Park?
Every relation from, great uncles to grand nieces, anybody related to anybody in Corofin is going to be in Croke Park, not just the villagers themselves.
There's no pressure on Dublin. They're playing their own backyard, they're going to have a big crowd. There's no pressure at all in Corofin.
One seems out of this world. Something that we are not used to and that we wouldn't have expected. But we just take it as another game. I'd be there anyhow because I'm very interested in football as well as naturally being interested in the parish itself, of course.
Well, we're county down, but we're still for Corofin.
Anybody believe that Corofin are not going to win, or is it?
No. Silly. Corofin's going to win.
You have to go back 2 years ago. We played Lawn Rangers in an All-Ireland semi-final down in Ennis, and we were very unlucky on that occasion. We just missed out. We lost by 2 points, and that was a very young Corofin side, and we had that experience behind us, and we also knew after that game that we were good enough. So that was tremendous benefit to us. So we decided then that we would sit down and we would plan a course over 15 months that would hopefully end on St. Patrick's Day. At the end of the day, there's only one thing that we want out of all this. We've worked so bloody hard. We really want to try and lift the cup, take it home with us. We just haven't got 15 good players. We have another 6 or 7 excellent subs, and all those guys are itching to get in, and the guys that are picked on the team know that they're itching to get in. So everybody's on guard, and unfortunately on this occasion we're going to have to break the news to certain individuals who expect to be in and aren't going to get in.
Now, is this what is this, mass suicide?
No, it's just a little bit of royal jelly to give them a little bit of a boost, maybe 2 hours before kick-off, and should be...
Ray was saying it's part of the tradition, really, and superstition.
It's the tradition for the last couple of years, and it seems to have worked on us for the last while, so we stay with it, I suppose.
Very unusual.
All right, let's get 4. We've only 4 balls, so...
How difficult is it to select the starting team for St. Patrick's Day?
I think that's the downside in this job, and it's a part that I hate, and I'm sure it's the same with anybody involved in management, and particularly as regards this game, because it's our first time in an All-Ireland. We might never be back there again. And some of these guys, in fact all of these guys, have worked since January 1997, which is now almost 15 months. And at the end of all that, they have to turn around and tell someone you're not in. It's just not an easy thing to do, and in fact it causes me great distress. I just don't like that part of the job at all.
Come on, we're going in.
How do you reckon you'll do today?
Sure, I don't know. I hope for the best. We don't really know what to expect until we get out into Crow Park. Like, we've never been there before as a team, but so far everything is nice and relaxed, no panic. So.
And how do you reckon you'll do against the likes of McDeegan?
Well, to be honest, I've never played against McDeegan before. Like, I mean, Aaron's-Isle have a lot of inter-county players. We don't know a whole lot about them from personal experience, but we're confident enough. We've got this fair.
All right, best of luck.
All right.
Now, the road to Croke Park started for Corofin all the way back in June when they played Monavea in the first round. This is the bus to Croke Park, and we're on it.
When you look back at it, it really has been a heck of a long season. I mean, the first match was way back in June.
Yeah, well, it's the old Acorn Ferdinand in that there is no really close season at all. But we took a bit of a break at Christmas for 6 weeks, so.
But you trained.
Yeah, I know, but there was no sometimes physical and stuff is fine, especially if you're winning. So we're looking forward to the long season. If you're successful, look at Man United. Like if you look at all the successful squads or teams, they'll keep going on. Arsenal fan in the back. We are Man United. You know?
It's kind of a dream when you start playing football. Start that you played an All-Ireland final and Paddy's Day, and here we are.
The game plan, I presume, is going to be an awful lot of passing, running off the ball. There won't be a lot of wild kicking out there.
No, we're fairly fit at the moment, so a lot of running and passing, running off the ball. That was normally our game all year long, so it worked. So why change it now?
Truthfully, nervous?
It hasn't really hit me yet, but I know for a fact in about maybe an hour and a half time. We'll be nervous, but that's only expected.
But to try and enjoy it as well.
Oh, we'll enjoy it to the full now anyway.
Absolutely.
We might never get here again. Hopefully we might, but we'll enjoy it when we're here.
Well, there is no doubt Corofin is not going to Croke Park to let their wings down. They'll give it the full. They'll give it the full belt.
They're not going for the spin. I'm sure that we're going up for the cup and we're going to bring it home.
Best of luck, boys. Come on.
Corofin surely in with a reasonable chance of producing quite a result here. Aaron's-Isle hot favourites, I think, according to most pundits.
We really don't know how some of our young lads are going to react to the pressure. It may get to them, it may not. Often in big occasions like this, teams don't play up to their potential, and that's always a danger. But if Corofin play to their potential, they'll win.
10 minutes of fight. Okay, come on, break away. Just 1 minute, lads. We get the talk.
It's all down to the first half now. Let's work and give it everything. Let's go.
And that's going to be a free for Aaron's-Isle. Developing up front if Ray can avail of the space. Now spreads it over towards Derek Riley. Made it difficult for himself, but what about that for class? And the sides are level. technical shot. That's a great point. An inspirational score by Aidan Donlan. Late burst by Corofin puts them in front by 2 points. And the referee, Pat Casserly, says that is half-time here at Croke Park, as the Galway and Connacht champions lead at half-time by 6 points to 4. I'm sure that Paul McGettigan told players at half-time, you are a half an hour from making history, a half an hour to becoming the first Galway, the first Connacht club to win this All-Ireland club title. Nice footballer, nice shot, great point. Corofin mean business. Damien Collins, point here to be taken, and it is. For Neil Crossan, Ollie Burke to Michael Donlan. Mick Deegan's attempted challenge didn't work. Jerry Burke just squelching out of his hands. Chance of a point, and Jerry Burke has sent it over the bar. My brother Jerry continues to exert extreme pressure on this Erin's Isle defence. Michael Donlan needs support. Jerry Burke is there again. Onto the left foot. He scored a moment ago, but this one is... Yes, it is. Keith Barr. Pulled down. For Derek Riley. Now this is a game of football. Trying to get away from Martin Nofton. Brought down and no efforts to play the ball. And that is a free for Corofin. Good running by Sick. About to be sandwiched, about to be fouled by Keith Barr. This to level the match. 6 points, and the teams are level. To Trevor Burke, to Jerry Burke, yet again, Burke comes to the rescue. This is Shane Hanlist, there's a chance of a goal here. They can smell it now. The corners belong to Corofin. They do so with style, with passion, and fully deserve this All-Ireland club title.
Corofin 15, Erin's Isle 10, the final score, and Corofin's name goes on the All-Ireland club trophy for the very first time. What do you think?
Oh, superb match. Definitely one that'll go down in the history books. I mean, disappointment for Erin's Isle, but nobody can deny the better team won on the day.
What more can we say? They're going to get the trophy from us till this time next week.
See you next week.
Congratulations, Corofin.
Oh, great excitement there. Next week, Sally and Ryle can be gripped at the earlier time of 7 o'clock. But in the meantime, stay with us here for more salient sporting moments in Action Replay.
Takes you further.
Love must be the greatest of all miracles. Now I can see how great life can be. something special, very special, makes the meaning of dreaming come true.
This is Kieran Goss.
Stop where you are.
Worse Than Pride, the sensational new album featuring the hit single Out of My Head. Kieran Goss, Worse Than Pride.
Jules Lyotard was not a dreamer, but he had a dream to perform the first flying trapeze. So he dedicated himself to an original idea. At Bulmer's, we still do. Bulmer's Original Cider, all in its own